You're watching the AUX Report with DJ Jeremiah. First up, Pastor Mike Todd weighed in on a Druski viral mega church skit and called it a distraction.
There was a video that came out this past week with a few 100 million views, and some people were trying to link it to me. And so I watched the video. It was hilarious. It was funny. It was all this stuff. And then people started trying to say different things. And the thing that I was most taken aback by was how much frustration it created in people. Like, I was literally watching people go back and forth with people and denounce people and call people names and do stuff. And I stepped back for a second. I said, oh my gosh, all this was an attack on people's lives of distraction. Do you know how many people didn't spend time with their kids this week? Fighting with somebody they don't know in the comments? Do you know how many people watch video after video after video making decisions about what they wouldn't do and what they will do? And it was a distraction. There were people that did not do what God said to do this week because they needed to be in the know of what was happening in culture. And you thought it was some attack on the church. No, it was attack on your focus.
And honestly, that framing matters. The skit was funny. It was viral. But Mike Todd's point was deeper. When satire becomes the main conversation, it could pull attention away from the real work of the gospel. The church already has enough eyes on it for the wrong reasons. So when comedy becomes the headline, we have to ask, is this producing fruit or just clicks? Jesus said the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And sometimes he doesn't steal with sin, he steals with noise. Next, Chrisean Rock says something that shocked a lot of her people. She said she can't be in lukewarm environments anymore.
It's not in that space no more. And I'm making a big transition in my career where I so hardly just trust God to basically have his way. And he can't have his way when I'm in the way trying to make money and yada, yada, yada. Did that make sense? And if I'm trying to do gospel instead of secular, I most likely shouldn't be in secular environments. And so basically, I also don't want to live lukewarm. Like, I don't want to be in lukewarm environments. I don't want to be involved anymore. So that's looking like, okay, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday, 25, 20, or 15. That's like a good $60,000 to $75,000 a weekend that I'm respectfully turning down because my walk with Christ is way more important than profit.
Now, regardless of how people feel about her past, that statement is biblical. Revelation says God would rather you be hot or cold, but lukewarm, he rejects it. What we're watching in real time is someone realizing that you can't chase God and chaos at the same time. You can't grow spiritually while constantly feeding environments that pull you backwards. Conviction isn't comfortable, but it's necessary. Next, you've got Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things opening up about his relationship with God has grown stronger.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always felt a connection with God in my my spirit. I can't even remember the day it started. It was just always been a part of me. It's always been part of me. But I think there's always a different level to it, because I feel like sometimes you live your life and you kind of like get into the world a little bit, and then you kind of stop praying sometimes, and you're like, all right, I'm praying before I go to sleep. All right, and then you wake up, like, all right, great. But then you have those moments like, wait, I need to pray and talk to God, and sit down and like ground yourself. And that was a lot. I did that a lot this summer. And I went to church a lot with my family, and I deleted Instagram and got off social media, and it just started like, grounding myself a little bit more and talking to God more. And it's been really replenishing.
And that matters, because Hollywood doesn't reward faith, it tests it. Pressure, fame, criticism, expectation, All of that can either push you away from God or force you to lean in. Caleb choosing to grow spiritually in an industry that often mocks belief, that's quiet strength. Not every testimony is loud. Some are steady. And finally, this is big. For the second time, Christian artist has major presence at Rolling Loud doing the Chosen Journey set. Artists include Anike, 1K Phew, Caleb Gordon, WHATUPRG, Nathan Davis Jr., and Kijan Boone. Let that sink in. Rolling Loud is one of the biggest secular hip-hop festivals in the world, and the gospel has a microphone. Not watered down, not hidden, not apologetic. This wasn't about fitting in, it was about showing up. The mission field doesn't look like church pews anymore. Sometimes it looks like a festival crowd. So from Mike Todd warning us about distractions, to Chrisean Rock rejecting lukewarm faith, to Caleb McLaughlin growing closer to God in Hollywood, to Christian artists boldly stepping onto Rolling Loud stages. One thing is clear, God is moving in places the church didn't expect and challenging believers to stay focused. This is the AUX Report with DJ Jeremiah.